Dudes and dudettes of YouTube land. It's Frank with What's the Point EDC. What's going on, y'all? So, it's been a couple days since I've uploaded. It's time to go ahead and get back at it, you guys. CRKT Fossil time. What an interesting design. What do y'all think about that? Does anybody in here own the Fossil? I know that there's a few people in the community that I know that own it, and they say it's an awesome knife. And I'll be totally honest with you guys. I thought that this was straight up just stupid up until I until I had it in hand. And I was like, oh my God. So a buddy of mine, another guy in the knife community, Joe with Edcpockets, he loaned this to me. He said that he figured that I would like this. And when he first handed it to me, I'm like, man, I'm not going to like that. Well, I got to tell you guys right now, I do. So let's check it out here. We got 8CR13 MOV steel. I believe I might be wrong. I could be wrong. Stainless liners with, I mean, it's like the scale. So it's like, I don't know what you want to call it. What's a liner lock, but it's like the scale. But anyway, so it's got a G10 inlay, stainless liners, scale, whatever you want to call it, with a rock pattern, as you can see right there. Everything's rock pattern, kind of fossily. Got some speed holes in there looking kind of cool. See what I'm saying? Like, this is a good knife. It's got a nice backspacer made of G10, it looks like. It's not exactly a deep carry pocket clip, and it's definitely not something that I favor too much, but it's okay. I mean, it definitely works. Would I recommend putting on a knife? It's just not my taste, I guess, so I'll just say I'm not a fan of it. But what I will say I'm a fan of is I'm a fan of the action of this knife. But the blade, so it's got a hollow ground blade. I don't even know what to call this blade shape. It's got a recurve here, a good belly, but a tip that drops kind of down like a sheep's footy. Now, the tip isn't quite straight. Let's do a little size comparison real quick, and then we'll get back to the rest of the knife. We'll talk about everything else. Let's do some big ones real quick. Civivi Praxis Spyderco PM2. So as you can see, it's right there on the full size mark. Now, a full size knife for right here for What's the Point EDC is going to be 8 inches and above. Here's two smaller knives right here. See what I'm saying? So it's like right there at the full size mark. It might be right about 8 inches. So the knife is running on bearings. That is for sure. It has got awesome action. Now you can't tell because I got the camera is literally right above here, so it's hard for me to actually, use the knife how I would. But I can tell you guys what, this thing is awesome. I'm going to upload some shorts and stuff on it so you'll see what the action's really like on it. Just trust me, this liner lock on here and these bearings work together very good. I guess maybe it's also the weight of the blade that just works good. But this is a cool knife right here. So what I'll say is, not only is the bearings work really good, but you got the reverse flick. So when you do hit the reverse flick, you'll feel that real good snap. You know what I'm saying? Like, check this out. Listen to how hard this thing snaps out. Good detent. I'm talking about, that's a solid detent. Very interesting. I gotta say that right now. I gotta say this is very interesting because it's not what I expected. That's what I think. Now, at first I'm like, man, you know what? I would like to see this flipper tab gone, but check this out. Dang, that is good action. Everybody I've handed this to, out of everybody, I've handed it to 5 people. 5 out of 5 all said that flipper tab action is fire. I think so too. But I was thinking the flipper tab could be removed so you could choke up a little farther. But see, it kind of keeps your hand, like, right underneath it here so you can't go anywhere. But it's not that bad. But the only thing I'll say that makes it so that I would prefer it to be gone is the jimping that's on the flipper tab right here is now right there where your finger is. But that's not like a big issue, y'all. That's just, unless you're really hard using it and then it would start rubbing you raw, and then you would need some gloves probably. But this isn't a really hard user knife though. This is definitely going to be good for EDC cuts. You're going to get good draw cuts. It's going to trap the material right there in the belly of that blade, like right as the belly begins in that recurve. And it's just going to be a good working knife, a good cutting knife. And man, I really can't believe how good this is. Now, I know CRKT is owned by Giant Mouse Knives, or they're like brother and sister corporations or whatever. But this isn't what I expected. I mean, and it's really not that thin behind the edge, to be totally honest with you guys. But this hollow grind, it just works. It's so sharp. This is on the factory edge right now. So, yeah, I mean, for the price, I think this thing's under $60. You get G10 overlays, because it's an overlay, because it just lays over. It's not an inlay. Stainless steel scales, or we're just going to say scales. G10 backspacer, runs on bearings, 8CR13 MOV steel, which isn't the most, it's a lackluster steel, honestly. But, I mean, it's a cool knife, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could really step this up and make an actual good version out of this. They can make a premium version out of this, without a question, in my opinion. But this is an awesome knife. Shout out to Joe with Edcpockets. I'm going to put a link to his YouTube channel in the description. Hit him up. Tell him WTP sent you. Check him out. He's just getting this thing started. He's an awesome dude. Very solid guy. And he's going to bring all kinds of content to the community. I really appreciate this, Joe. This thing's actually pretty freaking cool, man. You said it yourself. CRKT Fossil. I appreciate everybody who stops by and supports the channel. You guys are awesome. Without you guys, there would be no WTP. If you're an addict, never quit quitting. Stay strong and live long. If you're struggling with bad thoughts, reach out and talk to somebody. It is okay to talk. Never quit quitting and never give up.